Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migu. This is still The Viewpoint, and we're focusing on change makers, people who are making an impact within the society. In studio, I'm joined by Felix Chengo, who is a director of Uwezo College and also a published author. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Yes. And today I want us to focus on three things: how fostering education, culture, and youth empowerment, given these are areas that you are big on. And also you are a published author. But before we even get to that, let us get just a feel of your journey.
Thank you, Mike, for that question. Like you have indicated, my name is Felix Chengo. I'm a family man, 5 children and a granddaughter. My education, I started way in the villages. I was born around Kibwezi, a particular village called Thange. I went to the local primary school, Thange. And then from there, after my class 7, those days, I was called to a high school in Embu, Siakago. I couldn't go because of school fees issues. I struggled for 1 year in a day school. And then later on, I heard that there was a seminary, because I'm a Catholic, based in Machakos, which was admitting young people who would like to become priests. So I applied. Unfortunately, they didn't have a Form 1. So after doing 1 year of day secondary school, I went and started Form 1 again. But probably that was the best decision that I ever made, because it gave me an opportunity to have to be in an environment where I had water, I had food, I had lighting, I had every facility of me study. So I did my Form 4 there, and I passed very well and went to Alliance High School for my A levels then. And from Alliance High School, I went to to the University of Nairobi. During my academic days at the secondary school, both at the seminary in Machakos and at Alliance High School, I had lots of fee challenges, and I want to thank God because He sent along Destiny Helpers who helped to foot my fees, and therefore I was able to get through my education. Up to date, I don't know some of the people who paid for my A-level school fees, but through them, and through the grace of God, I was able to go to Alliance High School, complete my studies there, pass well, join Nairobi University, where I took a degree in BCom and finished, and then I pursued accounting. I'm a qualified accountant, CPAK. And then I got my first job with Cooper Sadler Brand. Cooper Sadler Brand is a legacy firm for PwC. They subsequently merged to become one firm, where I worked for 7 years in various positions and countries. Then after that, I left and joined MultiChoice, or what most people would call DSTV. I was their first African finance manager. I headed the finance department in MultiChoice for 12 years. And then thereafter, I interviewed and succeeded to become the first general manager for GoTV. GoTV was a company that MultiChoice group used to migrate the country from analog signals to digital signals. In that time, we were a collaborator with the government, and the KBC were already 40% shareholder in MultiChoice. We were working with them together with the CA, Communication Authority, to make sure that the country was able to migrate from analog to digital. So I was at the very center of that change from analog TV to DSTV, to digital signals.
So your story is what you would say is grass to grace kind of a story.
Almost.
And it has informed you, informed your perspective when it comes to giving back to the community. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so after working for about 8 years at GoTV, at the helm of GoTV as first general manager, then I took early retirement, and I decided to see what else I can do to impact society. because of the fortune that God had given me from like you say, from grass to,
to grace.
Yeah. So I thought of youth empowerment. And then that's why I looked around and I saw every year there is about 500,000 and above, depending on which year you are talking about, of Form 4 leavers,
Yes,
who end up not being able to qualify for university or other public colleges. And they end up sometimes almost helpless and hopeless, with really no means to earn a dignified life.
yeah.
So that's when I decided, why don't I, in my own small way, look at a way in which I can empower these people. And my principle was very simple. I realized the problem of youth unemployment, youth skills is very big. So I decided each one life I impact, that's already a milestone for me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to go for the numbers, but I was going to make sure that whatever I do to impact people was going to be impactful. So I coined a name for my college called Uwezo College, meaning giving ability to be able to do something. And then on top of that, I came up with a motto of beyond training. What beyond training is supposed to drive is the fact that, yes, you want to give a skill, you want to give a qualification, but over and above that, you want to produce an all-round person who is whose body, mind, and spirit are properly formed, so that they can be a dependable, individual in society, with a view to unlocking any potentials they might have. So I looked at that and I saw, if we focus on that, on the individual, not just a certificate, but the whole being, then we might be impactful in that. And since then, we establishing Uwezo College in Machakos. We are now luckily celebrating 10 years of very excellent training and impacting skills to young people there.
So in terms of empowerment, this approach goes beyond the class.
Yes. Yes, it's going beyond the class. What we look at is, of course, we attract people from different backgrounds. And what we try to do is to combine, classroom work with practical field experience. Where possible, we also try to have linkages with industry, so that we can place them to get practical experience. So we have got, in order to also guarantee quality of the certificate we give, we try to do exams with bodies that are well organized, bodies like NEC, bodies like NITA, bodies like ICM, bodies like CASNEB, and now recently with CBET, government focus on CBET, we are doing TVET CDAC, which is now aimed at giving skill, and it has a lot of aspects of, a period in class where you learn, the basics of the skill you are doing through competence-based, and then you have got a practical aspect in attachment, and then there's the ultimate final exam.
Still looking at education aspect, the empowerment of the young people and also minorities is a key pillar of having a very strong, what you'd say, civil society. From your perspective, how do you think education serves as a driving force, especially when it comes to dealing with issues of poverty eradication, especially in Kenya?
For me, the reason why I went to youth empowerment is because I believe education and the skill is actually an equalizer in society. I believe that, if you want to build a strong, society, you need to empower people and give them a means to earn a dignified livelihood. And when I say a dignified livelihood, I mean, if you give a young person, say a young man, a skill in, say, masonry or electrical or plumbing or any other field, that young person is going to be able to have a better future for himself and even to improve the life of the ones that he depends on. So our key objective is really to make sure that these skills we give help the young people to stay away from bad vices. If it's a lady, instead of going to bad things, then we give her a means to earn a dignified life, and therefore also be able to help her people, her children, her family, and all that. So at the end of it all, we are trying to make sure that these people find a way, a better way, a dignified way of getting earning a livelihood. And what we try to emphasize mostly is, you know, at the moment there's a lot of belief in you train so that you get employed. We try to tell them, yes, we are training you, but we also training you as an employer.
Actually, that is what I was about to ask you, because the mentality that I'm going to school, I go to school to learn so that I can get a job. That is a mentality that you think needs to change.
That mentality needs to change. And I always, like, when I walk around in the hairdressing, salon in the college, I always tell the girls, you know, and the boys, look, if you become very good at what you do, you never lack. Work will follow you.
Yes.
You can even live here and go to the village or at the estate you stay, and then you tell the children around there, come, I will make your hair today or your nails. You will make them for free for one day. The next time, they will come looking and they will want to pay something.
Yes.
So establishing a business sometimes does not even require a lot of capital. Okay, capital is important, but it's how perfect you make that skill. And what we aim at Uwezo College is to make sure that our training makes one a real professional, in the sense that they can, what they have come to do, they can do it well. And that is something that I have a personal passion on, to ensure that, you know, anyone who comes to Uwezo College lives with a skill that is going to find them very marketable out there in the society. And therefore, they will they will not necessarily need to be employed, but they will start work. If you are studying catering and hospitality, you can actually start making your own cakes and things in your house, and you start selling. So they become employers. And that is really the focus that we want to give them, because the whole dependency on going to get employed somewhere so that you can earn a livelihood sometimes can be depressing, because the opportunities, let's face it, are few.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So talk about the importance of skills and training as what you'd say a catalyst to empowering the youth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think in the modern world, if you have learned just a theoretical, subjects, and I'm not trying to demean any learning, because knowledge is good at whatever level. You find that if you have got a skill, you are better prepared for earning a dignified life. And I'll give you an example. The current world that we are in is going very digital. It's going AI, artificial intelligence. In that field, you'll find that a lot of maybe the theoretical things, you can ask AI anything, and it will give you. But if you have learned a skill, like, for example, if you are in the health sector or in technical sector or in whatever sector you are, there is going to be no way, the physical and the technical aspect of work is going to be eradicated by technological changes or digital changes like AI.
Yes.
So having a skill will guarantee you to have a better life. But what I keep insisting, you must perfect that skill.
Yes.
The world abhors mediocrity. If you don't take time to make sure that whatever you are learning, whatever it is, whatever skill, you perfect it, you are not likely to get far.
Yes. So whatever skill you learn, learn it to perfection, perfect it, and run away with it.
And run away with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're also very big when it comes to, still on matters, youth empowerment and giving back to the community, yes. But if for someone who would want to start in his or her small way of giving back to the community, what are the essentials of that? And also, how prepared does one need to be to make a meaningful impact?
I would start by the words of the late Professor Wangari Maathai and the hummingbird.
Yes.
She told this story that this bird saw a forest burning, and with a small beak went, fetched some water, and is pouring it. And all the animals were laughing at it, saying, what impact will one drop of water have on this fire? I said, at least I'm doing something. The problem of poverty is real in Kenya. So one of the things that was a big shock for me when I started Uwezo College in Machakos, now celebrating 10 years, was that I found a lot of youth wanted to get a skill, but they were unable because of school fees. The dropout rate is very high. So then I came up with this foundation called Uwezo Foundation. Uwezo Foundation, what it does is to mobilize from any well-wisher, somebody who wants to make a small impact by gifting a young person a fishing rod. I say gifting a fishing rod because if you give somebody a fish or a bread, they'll eat for the day.
Yes.
But if you give them a skill, then they will eat that for life. So I started Uwezo Foundation so that if we get a little money from Uwezo College, we can support 1 or 2 students. Like I said, we are not big on big numbers.
Yes.
We believe in changing life one at a time. So if we impact one, we impact 2. If somebody else comes sees our point of view and comes and sponsors one child or another, that is a life transformed. And therefore, one does not need to have a lot of money to start these things. You just need to have the will and to understand the only true meaning of happiness. You find it when you have made someone else happy, when you've given somebody a hope, because there's a lot of hopelessness. So if in whatever small way you gift somebody a skill that will help them for the rest of their life, you have given that person hope, a reason to live. Yes.
So it's a person-centric kind of an approach.
It's a person-centric kind of approach. Yes.
Indeed. Now, in today's world, youths have different organizations that they are in, and some of them are youth-led. So my question here is, how can they be better supported to ensure that they can participate meaningfully and contribute to the economic sustainability of the country?
There are many ways in which the youth can be organized so that they are able to to contribute to society. Of course, one of the ways is through the cooperatives. In this country, the cooperatives have been a very big thing, in terms of mobilizing resources, in terms of people being able to guarantee one another for a trade. So already that is happening very well, even at the lowest level. I mean, even at all levels, like you find it, borders have cooperatives, matatus have cooperatives, and all those are, they are youth. Others are Juakali artisans. Young people can come together, and through a group, they can easily access capital that will be able to help them develop, their industries. So the key thing is, first of all, yes, you can work as an individual, but if it is possible, get into a group, because there are many organizations, including government organizations, who are willing to fund, young people. If, for example, and they can organize them according to maybe their area of skill. For example, you can come together and start maybe an IT hub, innovation hub, where you are trying to come up with software programs and things like that. You can come up with, an industrial activity where you are trying to produce something in an innovative way. And that way, once you have the idea and it looks sellable and it's attractive and it looks serious, funders will look for you. There is money there, but real serious people who are committed to doing things well and who have integrity sometimes are lacking. Some of the youth today, one of the biggest challenges is that they need to demonstrate that when they get this money, they are going to put it into proper use and not just spend it on entertainment. So that sense of seriousness in youth, sense of wanting to advance themselves, sense of not instant gratification, but wanting to look at things that will guarantee a better tomorrow. I think that is one of the core things that youth needs to embrace in order to be able to attract capital and also to have a better life tomorrow.
There is also the aspect of commitment and persistence in these things, which I think are very important.
Yes, personally, I will tell you that through my own journey and my own experience, that I found that success is not a straight line. You actually fail more times than something works.
Exactly.
So I always tell even my team that you have got to be persistent and consistent towards a goal.
Yes.
It does not matter where you are now, but the direction that you are taking is ultimately what will determine whether you succeed or not.
Yes.
And that the people who succeed are not quitters.
Yes.
You have to be somebody who perseveres,
yes,
goes through, fails many times. It's even biblical. when Jesus was going to be crucified on the cross,
he fell three times.
He fell 3 times, and he woke up, and he continued, and he gave us salvation.
Indeed.
He did. So failures are part of the journey to succeed.
Yes.
But that consistency, persistency towards a goal is very important. But I always had a few other things to what I call a recipe to success. And these are, you've got first of all to work hard. Because ukiona vyaelea vyaundwa, you've got to be determined to work hard. Number 2, you've got to be disciplined, because discipline will not allow you to perfect the skill, like I said.
Yeah.
Number 3, you've got to fear God. At the end of the day, we were created by God to make an impact, to serve Him, and here on earth, and at the end, it helps to give you a moral compass, a moral direction.
Yes.
Because some of the attractions out here will actually be your fall.
Indeed.
So if you have faith in God, you are likely to go somewhere. And then finally, you must have a goal. You must have a plan for your life where you say, in this period of time, I'm in school. After school, this is what I'm going to do. And this is particularly one of the things that I emphasize a lot to the youth.
All right, let us take a break. We'll continue on that point. And also when we come back, we'll be talking about the aspect of culture. And we also talk about his book that is called Essentials of Akamba Culture. Stay with us. Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. This is all about change makers, fostering education, culture, and youth empowerment. And speaking of culture, Mr. Felix Chengo is a published author, and he has authored a book titled The Essentials of Akamba Culture. This is the book, Essentials of Akamba Culture. First of all, I want to get from you what inspired this.
Thank you, Mike, for that question. What inspired that book is actually a personal issue or personal matter. Like I said at the beginning, I am married and I have 5 children.
Yeah.
My wife happens not to come from my community. She's at Aveta. My children have grown up in Nairobi because, as I've explained through my career, I was always working in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So I had very little background or time for the rural areas. So as I was trying to give the very best to my children, I took my children to some of the best schools.
Yes.
They've turned out very well. I thank God for that. I introduced them to sound Christianity values. They're still following. I thank God for that. But then I looked at the children and I realized they do not even know the basics of Akamba culture, of who they are.
Wow.
And that kind of made me feel very guilty. So this book was born out of a guilty conscience, a guilty feeling of a situation in which I felt I could do little or nothing. Yeah. But then I said, instead of sitting there and feeling sorry for myself, let me think of what I can put down so that I gift this book to my children, first and foremost. So I looked at what would I have wanted my children to learn. So that book consists from very elementary aspects of culture like language, greetings, clans, all those kind of things, to very complex matters of even life after death, religion and all that, and what are the death rituals, and even things like witchcraft and all. It covers a wide range of things. So I looked at what is it that I would want my children to know about our culture. So I put it down in writing. Of course, it took me quite a while because all of this is not imagination. It's work of research and talking to a lot of people and reading. So it took us almost 4 years to produce this book.
The research process.
The research process and talking to, to the various people, interviewing all the people and collecting the data and all that. So we launched the book in June this year at Uwezo College, because we normally have at Uwezo College a cultural week.
Yes.
Because I try to emphasize that, mwacha mila ni mtumwa. If you embrace so much westernization, then you lose some of your key values. So in the Uwezo College, we normally have a cultural week around June, and during that week is when I launched this book. So, and then I brought my children. I gifted them the book there in front of the cameras and everything to say, here is your heritage, here is your reference point. If you want to learn it, the Akamba language, look elsewhere. But this is purely on cultural value. So it's the most, those who have looked at it have said it's the most wide coverage book in terms of topics. Because it starts from the origin of Akamba, where do we come from? It goes to the language, it goes to the foods we eat, it goes to our entertainment, it goes to the attire we wear, it goes to dowry, it goes to witchcraft, it goes to life after death, it goes to almost every aspect you can think of the Akamba culture. So it's like a one-stop shop, not in too much detail, because I didn't also want to box them with too much detail, but sufficient to give them an idea of how our society was organized, what were our values and organization. And in particular, values and the religion part of the book makes me feel that is where the rain began to beat us as a society. So although the book is dedicated to my children, I realized there are many other people who, for whatever reason, might find themselves in the same situation of, you know, they've grown up in cosmopolitan areas. They've not had a chance to learn about who they are as a people. So this book would be useful for, you know, for that purpose. And not necessarily Wakambas. Like sometimes I meet a lot of people who tell me, oh, we are going to Udhoni in Ukambani. What is the dowry? What are the practices? If you really want to find out things like that, we have taken enough time to make sure that we have detailed the processes and everything that happens.
Especially the cooking part.
Especially where you cook, you cook for the family, for your in-laws. The 3 goats that you have to bring, you know, all those things, the one that you have to slaughter.
You know, some people find it very strange that I'm coming to marry your daughter, but I'm the one who is coming to cook.
To cook, yes,
but
yes.
Now they fail to understand this is the way of the Akamba people.
Yes, of course, yes. And that's what defines us. That's culture. Culture is what defines our people.
Yes.
That's what we are.
Yes.
And if that is our culture, then tuheshimiane kwa hiyo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at Kenya, Kenya is a very diverse country in terms of culture. But then again, how does that diversity, our cultural heritage and diversity, how can it be used to inspire and empower the young people?
Yeah, I mean, that is already happening, particularly now with the CBC, for mode of education. You find that the current CBC has different pathways, and one of the pathways is actually towards those kind of acting, because culture includes things like performing arts.
Yes.
It includes music. It includes, you know, food. It includes many sports and all those kind of things. So in the modern day Kenya, with the current CBC education, you find that there is already a development in the right direction of not necessarily a specific, you know, community culture, but generally to use the various aspects of art and what have you, some which are cultural. Like if you look at that, the cover of the book, those are Akambas dancing. Yeah. So is
this what is called Kelume?
What is that is Kelume. That is typically Kelume. but Kelume tended to be for the older women who would dress in black, and usually the drum they were using was a bigger drum, so the drummer sat on it.
So is it the drum that is called Kelume, or it's the dance?
It's the dance. It's a dance.
I used to think Kelume is the drum.
The drum can be called variously, like Mukanda or Kedembe or something like that. So they'll put it next to a fire to warm it, to warm it so that it sounds very, very, very loud and whatever. So that is Kelume. So culture can be a way in which youth can earn a livelihood, and like I've said, is mainly around performing arts, foods, dressing. If there are many people who are making a livelihood of making fashionable cultural dresses. You hear there's a shop in somewhere in Surrey, and I'm not marketing for them, but it's called Something African.
Yes.
So you go to functions and you want something African. So through cultural drawing, cultural practices. Like for example, Akambas are known for very bright colors.
Yes.
So you can decide. Yeah. I've covered that in the book, some of the colors that are preferred. Yeah. So you can use culture, some of those kind of things, inclinations, to come up with something that can give you a livelihood. So you can start, like even in the college, we have a department for fashion and design, where we try to encourage them to be making clothes for, for cultural events and things like that. So there is a lot that can be, and that one can do to earn a livelihood out of culture.
There's someone up there, one of our directors there, wako pale juu anauliza, what is the difference between Muthokoi and Isio?
Just tell him to go and buy the book, you'll see. Anyway, that was on a light note. Muthokoi is normally the mains that is taken, and then you see traditional peso, a big thing, and a stick. The women would pound it, and it used to be a very nice entertainment. So because they would be pounding one after the other, one pounds down, another one pounds up, like that, until the shell of the mains comes off. So it's unshelled maize. They used to do it like
beat
that.
It up. I think it's the same thing that used to happen back in the day in the plains of Mwea before the posho mills came. They used to do the same.
They used to do the same. So when maize is done, that the outer skin is removed. And it's skinless, and then mixed with beans, then it's called Muthokoi. Now, if you don't do that, and you just take the beans, and you mix with the maize and shell, that is Isio. That's a different.
Now, do you think when it comes to culture, we can fully reclaim some of the cultural aspect that could be said have been eroded by modernity in terms of practices, beliefs, and maybe lifestyle?
I think it's a very good question. One of the things that I have tended to highlight at the very beginning of the book is that this book about culture is not an attempt to tell people to go to the traditional ways that were bad. For example, wife inheritance, FGM, and all that, or even to tell them to adopt, to abandon Christianity and join, traditional ways of worship. But it's a way to show them how rich our culture was at that point. Now, the problem has been that when we got colonialism, the colonialists came and wanted to destroy, our culture, our religion, our economic ways of life, and all that. So, because now he made us believe like we were worshiping a God that was not real God, and that is God was the only God that was real. And I'm not trying to, like I've said, I'm not trying to demonize, to challenge the current Christianity. I'm just trying to say when he came, that's what he told us. But during my research, I found that, like the Akambas, we truly worship one God, Mulungu, Ngai. So one of the things that we can do is, for example, not to think that anything that was done traditionally was bad. There were elements that were bad, but there is a lot of good things that were happening traditionally. And one of the values that I believe we lost, and if there's a way in which we can reclaim, would be important, is the social family life, and the social fiber in which our communities used to develop. For example, a child belonged to the community. If a child misbehaved, alikuwa punished by anyone in the society.
It took a village.
It took a village to raise a child. That would be something nice if we can have it today. If we cannot accept that these children are turning delinquent, they are turning delinquent because we actually abandoned some of our values. Family systems, if there was a dispute in the family, there was a way in which disputes were resolved, even between a husband and a wife. There was first of all the family, the head of the family. There were the elders. There was the clan, and then there was the bigger elders who were also from more diverse areas. Those people helped to keep a very tight discipline. That discipline today is probably part of what is causing a lot of ills. For example, divorce rates in traditional days were almost zero. Okay? Today, if you are married, mkikosana once, enda zako niende zangu. But now if it was in the traditional days, the wazees would stay together and they would discuss and all that. And there was even in Kamba culture, There was even a situation where a woman, if she felt offended by the husband, for whatever reason, she actually went back to her home. We used to call it uwendo.
Yeah.
Anaenda huko na kusudi somebody comes for her. Then when they come to her, they resolve. So those are some of the very good cultural values that we had, which were lost and which I would wish they would come back. Even the respect of elders, the integrity. You could not go out there and steal somebody's property. In fact, like us, Akamba, we were very big on Kithitu. You take my thing, I get Kithitu on you, you die together with all.
Let's close with this. Culture, education, youth empowerment. How can they now be used to come up with a more resilient community in less than 30 seconds?
In less than 30 seconds, I think they are all intertwined. They all make a society of who we are. So ignoring one makes us lose out on a lot of the other aspects. So like I said, if you leave culture, utakuwa mtumwa. So culture is important, those aspects. Number two, if you don't get educated, then you also have no role in modern world. If you don't get a skill, and particularly if you didn't go very far with education, then you also are likely to be bound to poverty. And therefore, embracing all of them means that one can actually have a successful life.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time to come and talk about this.
Asante sana.
That is,
thank you for having me.
Karibu sana. That is Felix Chengo, who is the director of Uwezo College, and also a published author of Essentials of Akamba Culture. This is where this conversation ends. My name is Mike Migu. Thank you for tuning in. Vivian Ndegwa is up next with Women at the Forefront. Stay with us.